What's up, everyone? I know some of you are going to be upset with me for this video. I know you're going to get your panties in the bunch, but if you do like this video, please leave a thumbs up below, please comment below, and please subscribe to the channel. Now, I'm making this video today because even though I'm successful as a physical therapist who runs a business, the DPT is no longer worth the cost of the education or the amount of BS you deal with on the back end if you're going to be an employee. And I really want to drive it into, especially pre-PTs and SPTs, that a doctoral title does not equal doctoral pay. Now, I know a few of you are going to argue with me about this, but in a few years, you're going to be like, hey, Brendan, you were right. Let me apply the work with you in your coaching program. You can avoid that altogether, and I'm going to show you how and why this just doesn't make any sense anymore. Now, some background information to preface this content is my wife is a physician. She went to med school on an HPSP scholarship, so very, very smart way to go and do that. But I understand the opportunities for physicians versus PTs, and we're going to use that comparison today. As you can see, I have my screen pulled up, but before we get into this, like I said, we're going to do MD and DO versus DPT as far as cost, earnings, and opportunities, and then go through the solutions. I'm just getting these numbers from Google. What I want to do first is go through the average tuition. So the average tuition is we have 39 to 63, and that's per year, and that's for MD-DO, average across the US. Probably DO is a little bit higher, but we're going to use this average for this video. Then we have the average cost of PT school, which is 20 to 60. Now you'll read up here, it's saying for undergraduate programs in PT. That doesn't exist. I don't even know why that's even here because this is inaccurate information. The real information is down here. As someone that's been in DPT the past 5 years, graduated in 2018, this is more realistic and from what I've seen from peers around the PT space. So we're going to use these numbers. When we go back here and we look at this, we can see that the MD school right here is 39 to 63K a year. What we're going to do is we'll take the average and then times it by 4. So the average is over here, 39 plus 63 divided by 2 is 51, times that by 4. Tuition alone, you're looking at 200K, and this does not include cost of living. Now, when you add in cost of living, then you get over here and you get over to usually 400, 500K, depending on the school, the cost, all of these things. And this is very real for what physicians are currently paying for school. Now, let's compare that to PT, right? So with PT, we're just going to do this. 80 divided by 2 is 40, and we're going to do a times 3. You can do a 2.5 program, but the 2.5 program is usually over here on the 60K rate. So with this, what you realize is we're just going to use the average of 40 times 3. We're looking at 120K. Now, that's not bad, right? So if you're able to get this as a DPT max, right? No cost of living, anything like that. You can pay this off in 1 to 2 years, either through my home health course, through travel, through cash pay, all those things, or just a high paying job, realistically, right? So you can go ahead and do that. However, again, we did not include the cost of living. Stanford does not include cost of living. And we can see over here, I'm sorry for these drawings being kind of shitty, but when we look through here, we go over here, we're looking at actually 240K. And this is where the problem lies, is the cost of living. So tuition actually is reasonable if you're just doing tuition, but it doesn't include room and board, meals, all of these things. And again, not everyone has the opportunities to have these things provided for them. So people that are actually struggling, that need to take out these loans, actually end up over here around 240K. Same thing with med school, with this being the low end for MD, DO. MD may be a bit cheaper, but DO definitely higher, all right? So we're looking at the cost here alone. The cost here alone, if you're around here as a PT, you're fine. However, if you need to do these other things, you're basically going to be fucked. And I'm going to explain why here in a second. So we're going to go back and look at the average salary and also look at the earnings and the opportunities. When we look at the average salary for a physician, we can see it's 170 to 270, and that's just general practitioner. Obviously, if you're a specialist, you're going to be making a lot more, right? But we're just going to say that the earning potential is 200K a year, but we do have to factor in that they are going to be in a residency making 60K for 3 years after graduation. Like I said, depends on their opportunities, what they're doing, other things, but still the end goal is here at least 200K a year, right? So even if you're doing this, not getting paid that much for 3 years, you're still able to make this as a base, right? This is your base, not extra shifts, not specializing, all that. So again, 400K at say a 6% interest rate, then you're doing this for a few years, probably taking home 54 after tax, or I don't know what the tax rate is depending on your state and a few other things, but you're taking home this after tax. It's okay still because it's very, very easy to pay this off because yeah, you're going to be taxed on this, but you're going to be making at least 6 figures a year. You can put half towards your loans, half towards this. Now the problem comes over here with DPTs, right? So this is the problem, is that this says the average is 83 to 110, but realistically, it's probably 68 to 120 from what I've seen. We're just going to use 90 as an average to give you guys some hope, right? We'll give you some hope with that number. We come over here, we look at this. I chose 90 for this example. The issue is this, so this is it, right? Here, at least as a physician, you're doing this, but then you get here. Here, you're doing this. And what doesn't make any sense is, say you want to be real dumb financially and go and do a residency. Say you do a residency or even a fellowship in PT, then you're looking at like $54K a year, or you're paying for it. So it doesn't make any sense. It's a terrible financial decision. But why is it a terrible financial decision? Why would you take out, and this is again the average, right? This is the average. Okay, 120 to make 90K a year, that's fine, right? That's fine. It's not ideal, but it's fine. But when you're looking at this, you're looking at 240, and you're only gonna make 90K a year, you're basically fucked. You're not going to pay that back, most likely ever, unless you start a business, right? I'll go into the solutions in a second, but as an employee, it's just a terrible decision. Where with the physician route, right, over here, say you could go to med school for free like my wife did, but say you're over here, you take out loans, you're 400K-ish on average. Yeah, you're screwing around here, but then you know that you can make 200K baseline, pick up extra shifts, maybe make 300, 400, 500K a year. Over a few years, you will make millions of dollars. So probably just averaging this right, every 5 years, you're making $1 million minus tax. So you're still making 700,000. So then you can go and you can pay this back much faster. But why do these almost cost the same, right? Look at the cost, right? Literally pretty similar. Maybe a bit lower here, but we're looking at the same cost. And that's because people think, and universities think, that a doctoral title equals doctor pay, and they sell it to you, they sell you that lie when it doesn't. When you just look at the numbers, look at the simple math, you can see that this is most likely a terrible ROI, and it's most likely not worth it unless you can really do it for 120 or less based on your average pay. Now, you could be like me, right? Come out of school and make, I would say, 100K a year, right? Then my second year, 140K. I've helped a few people make over 200K in home health. And you could do that. And that may be fine, right? If you do that, you grind, you could definitely pay this off. However, most people don't want to do that. Most people want to be employees. And realistically, most of them are bitch-made and young children, right? So if you're a bitch-made young child, this may not work for you. However, there are solutions to this problem. Solution one is maybe you just go to DPT school, you start a business, and you're going to go through this, get that debt, but then you're going to be more motivated to go in entrepreneurship, get that drive, because you're like, oh, fuck, I got to pay this back, and this is the only way how. The second option is maybe a different career path, right? Maybe you're a pre-PT student or your first year, and maybe you want to drop out and go to med school, drop out, go to PA school, go be a nurse or a travel nurse because you realize the pay is much higher. That's actually a very smart decision. You're not the first person I've talked to that's done that, and everyone that's done it has not regretted it, right? So different career path is another option. And the third option is just to start a business now, work with a business coach or learn it on your own through YouTube. Go and just start your business now. So why are these the solutions? Well, for this one here, you have unlimited earning potential. You can get the 7 figures and the debt won't matter, right? It won't matter. But here it does, because this is just stupid to be this much in debt and only make this, and most people make less than this, right? So that's why this is a good solution, because you have unlimited earning potential. The debt doesn't matter once you grind and put in that work towards your business. You could do a different career path, right? Maybe just don't even take on this risk. Maybe reduce your liability, go do something else. Or you could do a business now and just go and make sure it works. A lot of people are very successful doing that. And again, so these two here, unlimited 7 figures, different career path. Yes, 7 figures if you go into medicine, PA, around those things, or maybe you want to go and do something else. But just make sure that you want to have that debt around a 1-to-1 due to inflation, due to the economy, due to the taxes and everything that's changing in the world. Now, this video may upset you. That's okay. I've seen too many people who I warned pre-PT school come and work with me after, do the DPT, the business route, or they just don't listen to me, think I'm telling them lies when I say their doctoral title does not equal doctor pay. Then they go and they get their first offer of $75K a year with $300K in debt. I do not want that to be you. I want you to make smart decisions, do the numbers, make sure it makes sense. And if you're going to go into that much debt, make sure you're obtaining a more tangible asset. I just think that as of May 7th, 2023, the DPT no longer makes any financial sense.